Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today I thought I'd spend a few moments to talk about this film, which I just recently talked about in a haul video. This is Keepers of the Magic from 2017. There's the front and the back of this movie. And I really love this movie and highly recommend it. I'm just going to show the inside. It's pretty no frills on the inside, just the movie itself, but there's no real artwork or anything like that. This movie, I'm going to read a little bit of the back here, but it's a documentary that takes us behind the scenes of cinema's most iconic moments and honors the great masters of cinematography. So each of the cinematographers that are featured in this movie talk about their individual journeys and how those journeys contributed to their work. But as you know, if you've watched the channel, you know how much I love listening to directors talk about their work, listening to interviews, all the special features, behind the scenes type of thing. This movie is great. And the only real criticism I have of it, it's too short. I wished it was longer. I could have watched this movie for hours and hours, but it's 87 minutes, directed by Vic Sarin, again from 2017. One of the things that is talked about, there's a lot of different things that are talked about here, but the cinematographer is so essential to filmmaking. So you really get a great respect for their work and how they work with the director, how they work with the actors. In this movie, they talk about how many of the cinematographers talk about this idea of how the cinematographer creates what they call a circle of grace around the camera, and it kind of becomes an area for mediation for different issues that occur on the set. Obviously, if you've been on a film set, or if you know about film sets, or have seen extra features that talk about it, sometimes it can be very chaotic depending on the director, depending on the film, the location, so many aspects of it. But the area around that camera is very sacred, and so many times the cinematographer becomes the mediator of different issues that occur. One of the cinematographers mentioned an issue with Glenn Close where they were working on a specific scene with her, and she didn't know her lines. And so the cinematographer very gracefully fabricated an issue with the camera or something along those lines, and basically said, we need a break for 20 minutes. But it gave Glenn Close some time to go back and learn her lines. When she came back, the scene was really great after that. So the other thing that's really talked about, so many different things are talked about in this movie, but the impact of color on film and the use of color in film. Vittorio Storaro, the cinematographer from Apocalypse Now and The Last Emperor, talks about his use of color specifically in The Last Emperor to represent stages in life, which I thought was very interesting. And he goes through the entire color palette and talks about that. One of the other things I noticed too is that Gordon, I'm just looking for his name here, Gordon Willis, who worked on The Godfather, and I love The Godfather, and I happen to be watching The Godfather right now again. It talks about how he works with directors, and some directors are very hands-on, others are very hands-off, and so many times the cinematographer will be the one to set up the shot, to show the director what the shot is, to get some approval along those lines. Many times the director might leave the cinematographer alone to come up with a shot, and maybe wants to be hands-off or work more with the actors. The other thing that's talked about in this movie too, there's so many great stories and things like that, is the use of natural light and how important that is, waiting for the shot. They talk about this movie called The Bear from Philip Rousselot, who did The Bear, and there are, of course, a bear in the movie and other animals in the movie, and sometimes it can take a full day to get one fraction of a shot. So you really have respect for the cinematographer and the work that they do on film. So if you haven't had a chance to see this, I highly recommend it. And if you have any other suggestions on documentaries, film documentaries, leave me a comment below and let me know what you like. You know, I've seen so many making of featurettes and things like that, and of course I've seen like the making of Apocalypse Now and Heart of Darkness. There's a short film associated with the making of Apocalypse Now. I've seen that, and I've seen quite a few other things too. But let me know in the comments below if there's a documentary along these lines that you really like. But I really enjoyed this film. The other thing I wanted to mention in this video too is that I've started a new feature on my channel called Sunday Live. And what I'm doing is I'm going live for about an hour on a Sunday and talking with a guest or discussing a topic. And so I did one last week with Aaron Pinn, who has a great channel, who does a lot of live streams. And I'm going to be doing one again this Sunday at 2 o'clock Eastern Time. So I thought I'd mention that here. If you have a chance to tune in, that would be great. Ask a question or leave a comment. But I'd really love to have anyone that's interested in that. I'm going to have a guest on Sunday also. So please join me for that if you have some time. Sunday, 2 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. If you like the video, click on like. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, it would be really great if you subscribed. I'd really appreciate that. I sincerely hope that everyone is safe and well, and I'll talk to you soon.